What's up with strokes? Why they're suddenly everywhere? And what COVID has to do with it? Hey folks, have you noticed something weird lately? It feels like strokes are showing up more often than ever. Where I live, it's becoming worryingly common. Someone was perfectly fine, laying in bed, and boom, gone on the night before Lunar New Year. Another guy was just sipping his drink when he collapsed. And just last week, a super fit woman in her early 50s, always active and healthy, suddenly passed away. Everyone in the neighborhood was shocked. So what the heck is going on? Why does it feel like strokes are striking out of nowhere? I decided to dig into it, and turns out, aside from the usual suspects, scientists have found a new link that might explain this spike. But before we get there, let's break down what a stroke really is. What is a stroke, anyway? Basically, a stroke happens when blood flow to a part of your brain is blocked or cut off, causing brain cells to die from lack of oxygen. And as you probably guessed, when brain cells die, bad things happen, including, dying. Imagine a water pipeline supplying houses in the desert. If a pipe breaks or gets clogged, the houses don't get water. Same with the brain. No blood flow equals no oxygen equals dead brain tissue. There are two major types of strokes. Ischemic stroke, caused by blockages. Hemorrhagic stroke, caused by blood vessels bursting. The usual culprits. Blockages. Most strokes, about 87%, are ischemic. That means something clogs an artery and cuts off blood to the brain. Why does this happen? Blood clots. A clot forms and blocks a vessel. Boom. No blood gets through. Atherosclerosis. Fatty plaque builds up and either blocks vessels directly or breaks off, floats along the bloodstream, and gets stuck in a narrower vessel in the brain. Thickening artery walls. Over time, plaque hardens, narrowing the path blood can take. Like when calcium builds up in your pipes, eventually water barely trickles out. All of this can result in symptoms like slurred speech, droopy face, wobbly arms, or one-sided weakness. Because if the part of the brain that controls speech or movement stops working, so do those body parts. The other killer, bursting blood vessels. Then there's hemorrhagic stroke. This is when a blood vessel actually ruptures and leaks blood into the brain, kind of like a busted water main. Why does that happen? High blood pressure. Think power washing hose levels of pressure. If your blood vessels can't handle it, pop. Brain aneurysms. Weak spots in blood vessel walls balloon out and eventually burst. Amyloid angiopathy. A rare condition where protein deposits weaken vessel walls, making them more likely to rupture. Overusing blood thinners. Sometimes people take anticoagulants for heart conditions, but overuse can mean even minor injuries cause massive bleeding. In short, if your pipes are fragile and the pressure's too high, they're gonna blow. But why more now? Aside from all the regular causes, there's one more possible villain in this story. One that's shaken up the whole planet. COVID-19. Yeah. Multiple studies are now showing that having COVID increases your risk of having a stroke. And not just while you're sick. Even after you've recovered, the risk stays elevated for weeks, even months. One study found stroke risk increased 10x during infection, especially in people aged 65 to 74. Another showed the risk stays 3 to 5 times higher for up to 1 month after diagnosis. Yet another by the NIH said stroke and heart attack risk was tripled over the next 3 years after COVID, even in mild cases. The American Heart Association reported that people who had COVID had a 53% higher stroke risk in the following year. Researchers think COVID messes with your blood vessels, increases inflammation, and makes your blood more likely to clot, all of which equals more strokes. So what can you do? Some things, like age, you can't change, but others you can totally control. Eat better. Quit smoking. Cut down on alcohol. Exercise. Control your blood pressure and cholesterol. Sure, most people only take health seriously once they're in the ER. But the smart move? Start before you see the white coats. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if you've got any questions, hit us up in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.